Hello there, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I want to share with you an update on having the chain on this bag extended. This is something that I get so many comments and questions about. Whenever I talk about this bag in any of my videos, I will generally always say that this bag now works for me because I had the chain extended. Mine is no longer the length of the traditional classic flap. Mine is the Chanel classic flap in the medium, in the black leather, obviously in caviar with silver hardware. When I bought this bag, this was kind of a dream bag for me. I had set myself a certain professional goal and I had told myself if I ever attain that goal, because it's something that I may have went through my whole career and never been able to achieve. So I told myself if I achieve that, I am going to buy myself a Chanel classic flap. This was back before I had quite as many handbags as I have and before I was comfortable spending quite such ridiculous money on handbags as I do. So this was something that I was very invested in and was really working towards and really wanted to get. And it was because it was classic. It was because it was the Chanel classic flap. It was iconic. It was the look of it. I just wanted to have one. I wanted to own one, and I thought I will get this bag and I will love it and it will be perfect and I will have achieved that goal and I will wear it all the time and it will remind me about that and the world, all will be right in the world. Boy, was I wrong. I couldn't stand the bag. I went in and I bought it. I went to London, New Bond Street. I had the whole store experience. I knew what I wanted. I tried the gold on just to be sure. I made sure that everything was right and I loved the bag. That all was great. Then I got it home. Pain in the bum. Pain in the bum. Realised I don't like that bag. I don't like using that bag. That bag is not comfortable. That bag does not work for me. I have just spent an awful lot of money on that bag. Now don't get me wrong, I bought this in 2019. I think it was in the region of £4,500. So nothing like what the price is now, which is somewhere around £9,000. But still a huge amount of money to have spent on a bag. At the time, this was by far my most expensive bag to not use and to not enjoy. And as well as that, all built up in this bag was the anticipation of getting it and wanting it. And this bag was going to mean something. And all this bag actually meant was a complete disaster, that I had spent all that money on something that I didn't actually like. Because obviously when I wanted this bag, it was the image of this bag. It was the status of it. It was having one. It was all of that. All the reasons why you shouldn't buy bags. All the reasons why you shouldn't pick bags. But I wanted it for those reasons. And of course I didn't know anything about actually using it. And I didn't know anything about what it's like to actually try and fit one of these into your everyday life. Now, you may be somebody that loves a classic flap and adores a classic flap as it is. If that's you, you're probably not interested in this video. Because if the classic flap works for you with the chain that it has, then you don't need to be messing about with it. For me, it didn't work. It sat on a shelf, looking at me and making me feel guilty and basically calling me across my room going, you're an idiot, you bought me and you don't like me, I was meant to be fabulous and now you don't love me, because it was so hard to use. I didn't like it this way on my shoulder. Now mine obviously is going to sit a lot longer. I didn't like it that way on my shoulder because it slipped off. I didn't like it doubled up because when I doubled it up, it was up here and in there. Now bear in mind also that I have lost not that long ago 2.5 stone. So I was curvier, chestier, everything was bigger. So it was like right up here whenever I was using this bag. And when I wore it crossbody, it sat like here. Not a good look. Not comfortable to use, not a good look. Far too short, right up there. Just didn't like it. The only times I really used this was when my husband and I went somewhere maybe on a date and I doubled the chain up and just carried it and took it with me because I was determined to use it somewhere. Then I came across Leather Surgeons in New York. This video is not sponsored. This is not an ad. This is just who I chose to entrust my bag to have the alteration done. Because I decided I can't get on board with that bag and I want to use it. I want to make the bag work for me. So I came across an advert for Leather Surgeons. I can't remember exactly how I came across it. I think it was maybe somebody was selling a bag and somehow I found out anyway that people could get the chains on these extended. Now it's not something you hear very much about. It's not something that's talked very much about. It's not something, I don't think I know anybody else that's done it. There's not an awful lot of videos on it. So I was nervous, and I was nervous because this bag cost so much money. I was nervous about shipping it to the States where Leather Surgeons is. I was nervous also about changing the classic nature of this. I had in my head that the classic flap was classic and I shouldn't be messing about with it and I should keep it as is. And then I reminded myself it was designed in what, the 50s to be classic and to work for somebody then, and it wasn't working for me now. And what it came down to was it was so much money and I wanted to love and use the bag that I wasn't happy for it to sit on the shelf. So I put my big girl pants on and I decided that I was going to go ahead with this. I went with leather surgeons because I had done some research and they were very highly recommended. I have since been recommended by one of you guys, a company in the UK that I am going to send to the Christmas jumper bag down here to get extended. When I do that, I will make a video on that process and I will tell you about it after to let you know whether or not I could recommend that company or not. I'm hoping it works because it's in the UK. When I shipped this to America, obviously it cost, I think, somewhere around $100 to ship it. I also got a little bit of customs on the way back. Even though you can mark on the customs that you're sending it for repair and it's coming back, I still had customs to pay. And I think the cost of the repair from memory was somewhere in and around $350. And what I decided to do was to get the chain extended. I contacted leather surgeons via Instagram on their DMs. They gave me an email address to reach out to and to discuss exactly what I wanted. And then they sent me back the options and the cost for that. And what I decided I wanted to do was nothing else to the bag other than have the chain extended to a 22-inch drop. And at the time, I thought that would be perfect for me to be able to wear the bag crossbody, because I wanted to be able to wear this bag crossbody. This is a bag that I wear to work, or I wanted to be able to wear to work. I wear a corporate suit to work, and quite often, because the weather sucks, I also have an overcoat over that. So I wanted to be able to wear the bag crossbody over my suit and over my coat, and for it to be comfortable at that length. I decided to get it extended to the 22 inches, and what they do and how I made that decision, if you're thinking about getting one of your bags extended, I basically went and tried on my bags, found the one that I thought was the best length of where I wanted to sit, and I measured the strap drop of that bag, and that's how I weighed up between the different variations of where I wanted it to be and the length I wanted. I made the arrangement with leather surgeons that this is what I wanted to get done. I paid them, obviously. I packed the bag up quite nervously, if I'm truthful, and I shipped it over to America. It went over, and after a while, they do tell you that it can take however many weeks. I think at the time mine was 4 to 6 weeks to do the repair, but I'm sure that changes depending on how much work they have at the time. But whatever the estimate they gave me of time, it came back within that estimate. So it wasn't beyond that, which I thought was great. The communication was good. They let me know when they received the bag and what was happening, and then they let me know when they were shipping it back out. When it came back out, and I was opening the bag again in the box, I was very nervous because I didn't know if I'd wrecked this very expensive bag, and I didn't know if I had destroyed it, that nobody would ever want to buy it because it's now wrecked. I shouldn't have worried. This is the best decision and remains the best decision I have made for this bag. I would not be using this bag anywhere near as much as I do if it hadn't been for the extension of the chain. I wouldn't even, I think I would, I don't even know when I would use it because it annoyed me so much. The length of the classic flap chain just does not work for me. I would love to be able to show you exactly where the insertion is on this bag, but I don't know. What they do is they cut this open so the chain gets opened up and the leather gets opened up, and they add in a section of leather and they add in a section of chain that is to seamlessly go with the leather, and what it could be this part that is to seamlessly add in with the leather that you already have and the chain that you can't tell the difference. Now, one of the things about this is it's black caviar. So this is probably one of the easier leathers to match than if you had one of the Chanel iridescent bags, for example. That leather may not be able to be matched exactly if you were to get that extended. With mine being black, I think this might be it. There is you can see a gap in here where the leather ends here and starts again here. Apart from being able to see that, if I can maybe get that better for you. Apart from being able to see this part here, where this ends and starts, that's the only thing that I can see. I can't actually see to show you where the other part of it would be, because obviously they would have to put it in between two sections, and you should see two. That's the only one that I can see. If there's another one, I can't see it, and there must be to add in the section. But it's so well done. You would never notice this if you're not looking for it. I had to try and find that for you there. When it's on, you would certainly never look for it or notice it. When it's doubled up on your shoulder, you would never notice that. It is so well done. It's seamless. I can't really see it. And it has been revolutionary for me with this bag. And I know we're talking about bags and that sounds dramatic, but it has meant that this bag works for me perfectly. It is now exactly the length I wanted it to be, because if you're deciding to do this, you tell them the length you want it to be. You tell them what you want done. If you had an old bag, for example, and you wanted the leather to be replaced or repainted, you can also do that. My bag was basically brand new because I hadn't used it, so I didn't need any repair or replacement of the leather. I just needed the chain extended. And for me, this has been the best decision I could have made. Despite the fact that it's changing the classic nature, despite the fact it's changing the way it sits, none of that mattered to me. What mattered to me was using my bag. I've absolutely no regrets about it. I think it was in the region of $350 plus then the shipping. Well worth it. When you're spending this sort of money on a bag, when I was spending this sort of money on a bag, it sitting on the shelf just didn't sit well with me. So spending maybe $500 all in to get this bag to America, to get it done so professionally well, to get it sent back and to be so happy with it was a bargain, because it made this bag usable and it made me love this bag the way I wanted to. So I have absolutely no regrets about this. I think it was one of the best decisions I ever made. You also, when it's returned back to you, get a certificate of authenticity from Leather Surgeons. They are quite well known in the luxury designer handbag industry. They have their own authentication, and what they do is they send you back a certificate, because if you send them a fake bag or a counterfeit bag, they won't do this. They won't do the repairs on your bag. They won't extend the chain. They don't work on them. So what they would do then, I don't know if you pay to get it sent back or what they do with the bag, but certainly they don't accept counterfeits. So when it comes back, you get the certificate from Leather Surgeons as well, showing you that it's authentic. So if you had bought a bag pre-loved and you were sending it to get that done, that's going to be added comfort for you whenever it comes back that you get that certificate back. But for me, definitely money well spent. It was a decision that I really did go back and forward on. I took my time on. I was really nervous. I was worried it would not work. I was worried I would mess this bag up. I'm going to try it on, and I've put in footage to show you what it looks like on me crossbody now. For reference, I am 5'1" and a smallish UK 12 now. I will show you what it's like doubled up. It sits so comfortably like that now. I used to hate this bag up there whenever it was on the chain before it was extended. Definitely a big plus of a decision for me. I understand if you're nervous to do it, because it took me a long time to actually commit to do it, because I was so scared of what was going to happen to the bag. But well worth it for me. For me, definitely, I recommend it if you're in the position that I was in and you're comfortable that your bag will no longer be the traditional dimensions and lengths. Absolutely a winner for me, and no regrets at all. I think it's been one of the best decisions with this bag. I put a lot more thought into getting it extended than actually how the bag was going to work for me in the first place. This bag doesn't work for me with its normal dimensions, so for me, making it work, fabulous. And I can't recommend Leather Surgeons enough. They were so professional, not sponsored, not gifted, none of that, paid for it. But it was such a professional way of doing it, and the service was so professional. I have no complaints at all. I'm hoping I get the same, and I'm telling you the same about this. I will make the video and update you when I do that one. But for me, this, absolutely. Hope this has been helpful for anybody that is thinking about this with the classic flaps, because as I say, every time I mention this bag, I get so many comments in the comment box about how did you extend your chain, where did you extend your chain. I have a video from when it was first done explaining the whole process. I will have linked that up above. I will have linked that down below in case you want more detail on this. Watch that video as well, because that's when it first came back, and I'll talk you through the whole process, things I've maybe forgotten about now. But for me, this was absolutely the best idea, and I hope if you're one of the people that's been asking me about this in the comment box that this video has been helpful. If it has been helpful in any way, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, please do consider subscribing. And if you're not done with me yet, I'm going to leave another video for you on the screen to enjoy. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for watching me. Please take care, and I will see you again in the next one.